According to what people say, love is blind. Can somebody help me see in between the lines?
Can we at least agree I'm yours and you're mine?
We just need to be willing to fight for our love.
I don't wanna fight no more. I just wanna love you back.
And I want you here, so I'm gonna fight for our love. I'm gonna fight for love.
You and me,
You and me,
you and me.
you and me, yeah. I travel down this road of love and war, of love and war, of love and war, of love and war.
No, but we gotta get this show on the road.
Got to get the show on the road. Mr. E, where you been?
Yes. Yes. All right, here we go. Everybody, welcome to Love and War podcast.
Now
Welcome
we can
to
start the shit.
Love and War radio show. Welcome to Love and War talk.
Yes,
I
sir.
am your girl D-Light.
Hey, I'm Ebony Mose over here.
It's your boy running late, Mr. E.
That's right. Hey,
Man.
Mr. E, did we throw you off with, you know what, bro? Let's change the day and the time of the show.
You know what? Yeah, I had to get acclimated to the new time, but you know.
You was outvoted, though. You was outvoted.
You was so outvoted.
You was
Nah, I
outvoted.
thought it was cool. I'm cool with that.
You know, we talked to him
Okay.
yesterday. He was cool. He
Okay.
got family time he want to attend to, too, on Sundays. But anyway,
All right.
you know we already started.
We kind of just set the topic up for tonight, and shout out to everybody right now that's
tuning
watching
in.
us, that's tuning in right here on IG Live. Monday nights is going down, Love and War Talk, and everybody that's watching us on the playback. What's up, Cool Films? What's up, everybody that's listening to us on Ray Lavender? Is that the singer,
That's
Ray
that
Lavender?
fine ass.
Oh,
What's up, Daddy?
I'm fanning out right now. What?
She's-
Child?
She's
There's only
a
one
bad-
Ray Lavender I know. So anyway, but you know,
Crazy.
Mr. E, why don't you go ahead? You brought up this topic, and I didn't quite maybe put it out there the way I said 10 things to avoid.
Hey.
The 10 things to avoid when dating. But tell us why you talked about this topic right here.
Well, you know what? First of all, I think it all collides. So it was good that you named it 10 things to avoid on a date or a first date. But I think more so, a lot of times we fail the dating process. We fail it because sometimes we sabotage things from the very beginning. And I thought it would be a good idea to really just get off into that and explore why sometimes we put ourselves in a position to fail the dating process. I think ultimately it's about wanting to be finding your soulmate and wanting to find somebody that we could be married to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think this is also a good topic for Ebony because she is single. You know,
And you know,
single.
and
Why you
Cool
gotta put me
Films,
out there like
wait a
that?
minute, Cool Films on here shooting his
Oh,
shot.
Lord. He said
Yeah.
he shot every
He said
time,
his
no.
shot. He said, I'm
Every
not
time.
gonna stop until
First
Ebony
you
is
don't
my
succeed.
wife.
Okay, look.
He's
What's up, Sean? So, you're going to say, what was your question to me? I can't even get it out. What was your question to me? Y'all probably stuttering
I
and
was just
shit.
saying, I didn't ask you a question. I was just saying that I'm sure you can relate to the dating process, and there's a lot of men.
And
that
that's
you
what we're
probably
getting at.
yeah. It's probably a lot of men that you encounter, and they do things that automatically make them fail the dating process to begin with. So you never can move forward. You know, and I think we've all at some point have failed the dating process, and I want to explore that. And I want
Well, let's explore it. Let's explore it, because you know I always got to do some statistics to do some type
You know
of
she
research.
do. You know she do.
And there was an article, and some of these things are common sense, but some of them, you know, it's maybe people don't know, and men and women need to have a refresher, like being on time, being late.
Yeah.
You know, it makes a terrible first impression. And in a first dating process, and how you fail is not proper planning. You know,
That's good.
any
Doing the
way
same
to-
old, like I said, the routine dates. I can't stand that whole movie and dinner date thing again. And I talked about, remember on one of our shows before, take me to a freaking drive-in. I'm trying not to cuss so much.
Yeah,
Take
me
me
too.
to a drive-in versus to the movie theater, or take me to they have like those lawn or theaters like outdoor at night, like in certain areas where you could do outdoor theater activities. Like, stop doing routine stuff. Like, we sick of going
Get
to
a little
eat.
creative.
We sick of going to the movies.
This one guy talked on a train today. He said, I think a good place to have a first date would be like at a cooking class where there's interaction. There's maybe
And some guys are not
flirtation.
into that. You try to pitch some ideas to them. Oh, nah, let's go to, the fish grill. They rather do something like that versus doing something that makes you guys interact together, because you can only sit in front of each other and talk. And most of the time you eat, and you can't really, it's not really good to like talking, to somebody while you eating anyway.
People don't want to feel like they're interrogated. Like, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. And so those can be some kind of setups for failures.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another one that, that I think is important is, yeah, go ahead.
We got hella comments, but quick, Fox said most women take an hour to get ready. So are you trying to say we always late and end up late? Are you trying to say women are always late today?
Shout out to Quinn
know.
Fox too. Shout out to
Right.
my boy Quinn. Yeah.
It's a lot of women. Thank you, Cool Films. He said he loved the show. But it's a lot of women that are always late, but men are late too. Some men don't even show up. Shit, sometimes you
had that happen
and call with an
before.
excuse, and you be
Ghost.
like, "What?
Ghost.
I ain't never going out with you or wasting my Saturday night."
Right.
And
you be trying to stay up, and then be like, your makeup, but then you laying down and you're tired, like, oh, he gonna come.
he gonna come, and then he call you at 11 o'clock talking about things change, but I'm gonna come over. No, that's not gonna happen.
No.
But Tati Below Zero said, right, change it up, meaning y'all got to change it up. Even women, like maybe with our suggestions, again, we're
How
allowing
you feel
them.
about that cooking class though, because that gives you a way to kind of bond.
It's intimacy,
laugh,
almost in a different form.
Get to know each other. Okay. Right now, this other one I want to talk about is don't forget your manners.
Oh,
Hold the doors open, men. What happened to chivalry?
And so long, it's hard to find a man to open like your car door open. It's
Yes.
very. Sometimes I'm
Or
always
even
the one
when we
leaving
going
anyway.
into the
restaurant.
restaurant, just open up the door. Mr. E, is chivalry dead?
No, I don't think chivalry is dead. But I mean, it's just like anything else. Like if we pull up and then you hop your black ass at the car, then I mean I can't open the door. And I mean, some women they will say, "Well, you didn't open the door for me." But then I ain't even put the car in park before you didn't hop that. Where we at? What we about to do?
You know what? Some men need to reassure their woman that they're going to do that. Like, baby, touch our leg or something and say, I got the door. So we know, let us know our lane. Because we don't know our lane sometimes, because some of y'all ain't strong and got manners or polite and respectful. So we don't know. So let me just grab the door so I don't be sitting in the car looking and wait for this nigga to come get me.
And he already at the door at the restaurant.
Can I interject real quick?
Go ahead, Mr. E. You
interject.
are the male's perspective of the show. We need the male voice now, child. Women need a good, strong man on their team. Come on, tell us what it is.
That's funny. Okay. I want to say this because women are really good at stating their expectation and their standard when it comes to dating. Now, if you talk about failing the dating process, I think that one thing that women do that is women already come to a date with a preconceived notion and a preconceived idea of how a date should go. And that will sabotage the date for sure. Because no matter, and the reason why I say that is because Ebony said, well, why do you keep doing the same thing in the movies? But you got to remember that 9 times out of 10, this gentleman's first time taking you out. And already, before y'all got to your destination, which remember, you want him to be the man and you want him to choose. That's not to say that this time that you go to the movies, that it won't be different than every other time. But because you have already in your mind an idea of how you don't want the norm and how you want to do something different, then now all of a sudden it's like, well, I don't want to do just regular stuff. But this is my thing. My thing is before you push your standard and push your level of expectation on a man, allow him to do him. Because the truth of the matter is, you can't condemn him before you get an opportunity to see what he about. And most women
sometimes we allow them to do them, and they show us that they don't have plans.
Okay, but
they don't think they're not considerate. They think about themselves most of the time.
But hold on, but every man deserves the benefit of the doubt. If you thought enough about him, if you thought enough about him to allow him to take you out, then he earned his benefit of the doubt. Now, once that happens and you don't like it, then I think it's fair for you to address it and say, well, I think that the date could have been a little more interesting but I wanted you to have an opportunity. I want to see what you had planned for us.
Mm-hmm. Now, Cool Film said roles are all twisted up these days. Point blank. Kiki said, he preaching. Okay, she made a comment.
Talking about you.
And then our other niece, Tati, said, it might be, wait a minute.
It might be because of all the talking some men do before going on a date, on that first date. You're right. A lot of men do boost you up, and then we have expectations, and we think we about to have a nice night, and then this, wah, wah, wah.
Well, let me just say this. So,
what up, Houdini?
He said, chivalry is not dead, and you guys are pretty much saying every man, they're making comments, every man is not the same, and that's true.
Men do that the chivalry shows up when they want it. Like, if they really want to go all out for a woman, it's like men will change roles. A man will act like he's never acted before for a certain woman. Now, it's weird to say that, but I'm just saying they'll treat ladies like ladies, and they'll treat girls like girls, in other words. Like, you know what I mean? They don't think, I've had men that really want to go the extra mile and do planning and think, because you're a gentleman, you know what I mean? You like women and you cherish women and you think it's a valuable situation, but a man chasing after ass is not going to be thinking about a real optimistic date or really pleasing you. They're thinking about, okay, where are we going to eat and how fast we get to her house afterwards. So again, it depends on the type of woman and what type they're going after or what their ultimate goal is. You know what I mean? Because when it's time to be a man and be a gentleman, some men will step up for that woman. Like, if you got the right one in front of you, you will change roles, I would say.
Okay. So let's one of the rules, one of the top 10 things, y'all, are don't forget your manners. Don't forget your manners. Say please and thank you. Eat with your mouth closed. Be friendly and polite. And don't be on your phone and being all rude. You know, just remember to keep your manners.
It really depends on how he was raised. That's what Johnson Calvin said, but that follows exactly what she just said. It really depends on how he or she was raised. You know what I mean?
You know what?
For manners.
Let me say this. I just noticed, Ebony, you keep saying he.
I said he or she.
He.
I just said he or she.
No. I just mean, if we were to roll back the show from this point to the time we started, it's been
because I'm not dating women.
No, that's not my point. That's not my point. That's not my point. My point is, I think we should self-examine. I think we should examine ourselves and everything, because sometimes we can sabotage it on our own. You know, honestly. And then let me tell you something. At the end of the day, everything is a result of things that we allow. Everything. No matter what. So the thing about it is, this is what I teach my daughter. I say, you know what? You make a man earn everything. Because the thing about it is, most men won't throw away something that they earn. Think about their car. Think about how much they put into their car.
You're right.
You know, they won't treat the things that they value with they won't treat it. They'll treat everything with value great. They'll treat it great. So my point is, make them earn everything. Have 2 or 3 conversations with them over the phone, and have 2 or 3 conversations with them over the phone. And
we don't talk on the phone. We talking in person.
Yeah, but even before that, let them talk, because a lot of times, if you let a person talk, they'll expose things way before.
Believe me, I know.
Before you have to see it beforehand.
Okay, you know so you guys are naturally talking about some of the things on this list. It does say talk over or for your date. Most people find it extremely rude if they're asked a question and someone answers on their behalf. Don't order for that person, but it's just saying that don't over talk them. And it says don't talk about yourself too much. Don't talk about yourself. Let that person talk, because that just co-signs what you're saying, because they're gonna reveal they're gonna tell you, they're gonna show you exactly who they are if you just sit there and let them talk. And don't over talk the person. And you know, but this is also another thing that you said. So that's number 2, right? Number 3 was, since you said make a man earn everything.
Oh, they gotta earn it.
Because you know, folks over here, the dogs is in heat. And I'm about to swap. I'm down here swapping dogs. And
you getting dog talk?
No, her dog is tooting it up. My dog finna put it in.
He running around with his mouth shaking like a crackhead.
It's something going down, and we trying to keep folk apart, you know.
Okay.
Anyways, the plight of trying to live with a male and a female dog, child. But it also says what you said, making a man earn everything.
Right.
It says do not sleep with him or on the first date. And then don't go back to his or her place.
Absolutely, because you know if you go back to the place, and not to say I haven't done it on the first date because it didn't happen before, but I know that rule now. I know don't go back to the house on the first date.
And don't give it up on the
Don't
first
give it
date.
up.
Because you gotta make a man earn
You
something.
be like, damn, you look better in your own space.
Oh man.
What you better do?
Because men be, I used to remember that even on second and third dates and everything, if you really don't make a man earn it, I never felt like it never was a meaningful relationship and it didn't really last.
And some men let you know off top, like they know.
They lose interest. Men lose interest.
But I'm saying they let you know right off top where they going for. You know where their mindset is by how conversations are set up. With the how all the conversations be set up. As soon as y'all start talking about the draws and sending a pic and all that, you already know where shit is headed.
So, but I do want to say, Mr. E, yeah, why does it seem like that? Why do men lose interest like that?
Because first of all, we're hunters. And we're experts in making sure we don't starve.
They hunters.
And we're experts in making sure we don't starve. So, this is, and you know, y'all not going to like this, but I'm going to tell you the truth.
I'm already shaking my head.
You ain't going to like this. You ain't going to like this, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I got to tell the truth. The truth of the matter is, if a man comes at you wrong, if a man comes at you wrong, he had got some type of indication that he should. That doesn't mean he was right for coming at you wrong, but he got some indication of some kind of green light. So if he come to you and be like, man, look, I just want to smash. There's something about his perception about y'all's interaction or y'all's relationship that says, yeah, I'm going to throw it all away. I at the end of the day, the best thing I can get out of it is smashing. That don't mean that they're not wrong either. It doesn't mean that he's not wrong about you. But somehow, some way, he got either a conception or a misconception about you.
My niece said y'all need to hunt slow.
Because y'all be trying to get on the draw so quick. And the conversation can go real sexual real quick.
Well, when I say hunt, I just mean
who is T3 too, by the way?
That's Slum Village.
What you talking about? Like T3 Slum? I hope that
he's still tuned in.
Payday. Don't you play no games.
This girl.
I put you on the Slum Village.
Bitch, whatever. What was his name? Ron put us on the Slum Village at the same damn time. Anyways, we got put on at the same damn time.
I feel like that too.
Put on the air, somebody.
I ain't really. You know, I'm dark. I don't want to sweat.
All right,
I don't know if this was in my cup or what.
So, anyway. Men, you were saying they are naturally hunters, okay? And if they hunt and they gather, they get it.
But
you said something about they hungry. What that mean?
But I'm not using that. I'm not using that in the context of sex.
What you using that?
I'm just using it in the context of a male versus a female. Because a male pursues a female, I mean, you know, either we're being pursued or we're pursuing. In most cases, the male is going to be the one to pursue. So that's
y'all be pursuing pussy most of the time. No.
I thought you were going to cuss.
I'm trying to stop cussing.
I mean, the world wouldn't know.
We got God all in the background. I'm sorry, God.
But the world, I just noticed that. That's crazy.
We switched backgrounds and turned up.
This is,
watch what I'm saying.
I'm glad.
As far as this house, we gonna serve the Lord.
As far as this house.
Exactly. Well, let me tell you something. I'm glad wherever y'all are in the house, I'm glad we wasn't there last Thursday.
Right.
Boy,
what happened Thursday?
The conversations, they get real.
We gonna have to pick up on that one again too.
We were talking about swallowing.
Yeah, that's a good one, though.
That was a deep show.
That was a good show.
No pun intended.
We're going to talk about swallowing again.
All right,
It's still trouble.
but y'all was talking about, we was talking about hunters and we was talking about men.
Yeah.
One of the things too in here, one of the things to avoid, it says, ladies, don't wear too revealing of clothing.
Right, because that's going to send off the wrong signals. For
Right,
sure.
that's exactly
You
what
can wear your
said.
tight pants, show your little booty. Yeah, you want to show your figure, but maybe not show cleavage with it. Show one or the other. Either
says,
cleavage and no ass, or ass and no cleavage. Don't show them both.
Don't show them both. It says,
and you know what? Believe it or not,
Mr.
it
E.
actually goes the same for men. Like, I wouldn't come to a date with gray sweats on that's tight around my waist. You know what I'm saying? Showing my man. Like, I want you to get to know me. I don't want you to.
Is that how y'all be doing that? Wearing gray sweats that's
With
tight?
your man,
Yeah, I ain't gonna. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do that because I want you
whatever.
to get. I'm not trying to advertise that. Like, I'm trying to get you to know me. You know
so
what I'm
do
saying?
you agree with this? It says, barely there clothing can make a woman appear too easy or loose.
Yeah,
do you think
definitely, definitely. But even more than that, it's a distraction from getting to know her.
Kiki said, wear a Sunday dress.
Yeah, it says dress well, but don't overdo it. Dressy casual is best. Shirt and pants for men, and a nice dress and cute top and pants or skirt for women.
Right. Hey, can I give y'all a fun fact real quick?
Fun fact.
It's never worked out with a woman that has dressed real sexy for me on the first date. It never worked out.
It sends the wrong
Really?
message too sometimes.
Yeah.
Again, y'all like that.
I don't know why.
The thought flag go off right away.
Now, have you had some
Hell
dates?
yeah.
They come. I'm sure you had some dates. They be like, "Oh, bitch, I'm going out with
Yeah,
Mr. E, producer."
And
you
they
know,
trying to turn up. They want to be in the video, so they come with video clothes on.
Man, let me tell you something. And guess what? We finna go audition too.
That's how y'all niggas be doing it too. See, that's why I don't be fucking with y'all producers. Be selling bitches dreams.
So what? Exactly.
Right.
You dress
We finna
sexual.
go back.
What
We
up,
finna go back
Slave
to the
Cheetah?
palace.
Perception. That's right.
We
That's
finna
right.
go back to the palace and audition, man.
Yes.
No, for
Cool
real.
Films. What do you say?
No, that ain't what's up.
Cool Films.
Says some women just want the heat, and that men get used to.
Calvin Johnson basically he said exactly, if you dress too sexual, it gives
the wrong perception.
It gives women, you giving men the wrong perception. So once again,
day.
if you are tuning in right now, you are tuning into the Love and War podcast, the Love and War IG live show.
Yes.
Love and War Radio. I'm your girl D-Light.
Hey, I'm Ebony Mose.
And it's your boy, Mr. E.
Okay,
right.
tell them what we're talking about
And
too.
we're doing this every Monday night now, new time, new time, Monday nights at 8 p.m.
8 o'clock. Yeah,
Yeah,
Pacific.
Standard Time. Mr. E, go ahead since you know the times.
Yeah,
What's the time?
10 p.m. Central. That's our time. That's Dallas, Texas, 214-972-2469.
Yeah.
Okay, folks be up at 10 o'clock out there too.
And 11 o'clock Eastern time.
For
Eastern
sure.
Standard Time. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're talking about top 10 things to avoid when dating. And Mr. E, you basically posed the question in our group about dating and set us up again. Tell us why you brought this up, this topic.
Well, I think that a lot of times we fail the dating process. And I think that sometimes we, as men, sometimes we sabotage it. Sometimes as women, a woman sabotages it based on her standards. A man sabotages it. Sometimes moving too fast, as Kiki said. You know what I'm saying? Hunting too fast.
Too fast.
Let's not forget hygiene too.
Oh,
that's
wait a
another
minute.
thing.
That's on the list.
Hygiene. Some folks can send a wrong message when they come stanky or something.
Okay,
They forgot some
this what it
deodorant.
say.
Or they wore yesterday's pants or something. I didn't have a nigga that smelled like he wore yesterday's pants. I was like, this is the last.
My friend Al from the train said a brother came and met one of his homegirls for a date, and she said he damn near smelled homeless.
Ooh,
he damn near smelled
homeless. You be wondering, like, did you not have time to freshen up? Or what kind of work do you do?
You never encountered that.
What kind of work do you do?
That was like a little
sometimes I got sinus problems, so maybe I could have just didn't.
You couldn't even smell.
Hey, nigga, I sat down at the table like, so what kind of work do you do? I was trying to figure out, like, is this nigga, what are you moving around all day? Or you working on the cars? Oh, man, you gotta be clean.
So it says skip on hygiene. First impressions are important. You rarely get a second chance, so make sure you feel at your best. Shower, shave, brush your teeth, and change into some clean clothes. Remember to wear deodorant and try some perfume or aftershave.
Hey, somebody said, how you smell a nigga pants? Hey, when he got up to go to the bathroom, I just targeted and I knew it was the pants. When you get up, it was like, it's not the shirt. That's that nigga's booty. It's the pants. He had like booty residue left on the jeans or something. It just smelled like ass. It was the pants. It was like ass sweat. I done smelled that ass sweat before. It'd be like that. It was the worst ass sweat. It was not right.
I've never been there before. I can't even.
And that would turn people totally off. Like even if you guys a girl with a sticky breath,
stinking
hair. I never.
Oh, you know what? I do got one. I got one.
Oh, hair be stinking now sometimes.
Yeah, I got one.
Get over
Mr.
E.
And this actually happens.
Jamil, you're gonna need to watch the dogs, child. They out here trying to give it up on Love and Word podcast. Damn.
Yeah. But
booty residue.
You know what? Sometimes a girl smells like her house or her apartment.
Oh and no, she just fried some fish.
No.
They clothes get to smelling like that. I know what you're talking about.
They just smell like they spot, you know. And sometimes it's not something you're used to. It stink, but it's like, man, where the hell you live? You know what I'm saying?
Never smell like some mothballs.
Yeah, like what y'all got going at y'all house? And the thing about it is, they're not gonna even they won't even notice. So all their clothes smell like that. You know
wear some clean clothes, ladies.
Now, what about another thing is when you're in that day. When you're in that dating process and when you do get to the point where you actually come over that person's house and you realize, oh my goodness, this person ain't as clean as they supposed to be, or they got the side of their toilet look like.
So when do you let somebody go to your house? Hey, like I think that's gonna be another question for another day.
That's another day.
When is that today?
Okay, when do you think
that's a dating fail? Because maybe it's too early.
You make it to date number 2 and 3 and so forth.
Maybe after 3. Maybe after 3.
You get to somebody's
and if it's a good 3 days. If it's a good 3 days.
Because you try. Hey,
get over here, Jamil. You over there, right? Yeah. Okay, watch them porns.
They trying to goose.
I mean, she just took it out too.
I mean,
she too old to get fixed, and so I just never got her fixed. You know, I found her at the trap house over there in Dallas somewhere anyway. So I thought she was
the nasty no.
The nasty no.
She was in North Dallas.
Like, whose dog is this? Anyway.
NAWF. She was in
get tossed.
Okay. And Anthony said, oh, she cute. Let me bring her. I was like, oh, Lord.
Kiki said people do be smelling like their house, though.
Okay.
Especially if they burn the incense. Oh, I hate that incense.
You don't like the incense smell? I like incense. I be like, oh, it smells like Afrocentric.
Smell like somebody in my house.
That smell like poverty.
I like incense. I be burning incense.
He said incense smell like poverty. That's hella funny.
It's new, man. Like
hey, let me call my dog no hood rat. What up, Mouthpiece?
Mouthpiece Drew in the building.
What's up,
Mouthpiece? Everybody right now, Calvin Johnson, everybody that's tuned in to Love and War, we sure appreciate y'all. We talking about the things to avoid when dating and dating failures.
Okay, they got on the list here too, medical history reviews.
Oh,
like what if you say you were diabetic? You know, you come
too much
when do you expose that you got sickle cell or you're diabetic, whatever you might have, what condition?
Yeah, it's too much information, Mr. E. What you think about that? That's a thing to avoid.
You know what? I'm glad you brought up too much information because this is my creed. My creed is it ain't no too much information because the sooner we can get to the stuff that you feel like is secrets, the sooner we can figure out if this could possibly work or not. This is like a pre-approval process. I'm going to need your social security number. I'm going to need your credit
background
score.
check.
I'm going to need all that so we can see if this going to work. We need to go to we need to go through the pre-approval process. And then if you make it through
Mr. E,
it will.
That's making it feel like it's an interrogation.
But this is what she was talking about earlier.
Because I mean, there's a way to do everything. I've never been on. I'm not gonna interrogate you. But I'm gonna be nice and polite, and I'm gonna be candid. And
we want to know though.
And I'm
we want to know.
Who are you?
Who are you? We want to know. Do you have siblings?
That's
you know, what's your last name? Like I told y'all on one of the previous shows, I done been on several dates where dudes don't ask about my family. They don't ask what your last name is. Do you have? All they want to know is, do you have kids and do you live alone? Those are the top 2 questions.
That's a mess, child.
So
those are the top 2 questions.
Do
you have kids
what time do you get
alone?
out of work?
Exactly.
What time do you get out of work?
Exactly. So that's why a bitch is still 37 single. You think it's me? I be dealing with a lot of shenanigans out here. You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you.
And now I'm starting to date older men. So now I'm just like, you know what? I'm not dating. And the older men, and they at least they're more attentive, and they want to go walk on the beach and take a walk on the waterfall and do some different shit that these young cats.
What's older men? What's the age?
Under the waterfall.
What's the what?
45, 55, up in there.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Hell, that's 10 years older than me, basically.
Oh, so okay, because I'm 35. So you saying that we don't know nothing about dating?
It's a lot of y'all that y'all just lazy daters. Lazy daters. They, again, it seems like the older men, they want to work harder to, like you said, what was it, earn it? They want to work harder. So they trying to do backflips, nigga. They want to pull all the tricks out the sleeve because they like trying to bag you. Versus these young cats think they cute enough and they just gonna get it thrown at you. You know, they slingshotting dick everywhere anyway, so they like, who gonna catch it? You know, they not really worried about pursuing you and getting to know you. Again, they want to know how many kids do you have and do you live alone. So that's normally. I don't think
it's an age thing. I think it's an upbringing thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, honestly.
That's true.
They favorite questions, Tati said. Their favorite questions for sure. Jill Scott said, let's take a long walk. Again, people don't want to take long walks and do activities like we discussed, cooking classes, stuff that kind of gets you to be interactive and really talk. Because, again, even over a dinner table, you can only talk so much. So when you're doing activities, bike riding, doing stuff where y'all both competitive or doing something together, canoeing, whatever, I'm just saying, find something different besides sitting down and looking at each other in the face and drinking.
But I do think it's too many questions you can ask. I think there's some questions you should avoid. And I'll go into that, Mr. E. Go ahead and say what you was about to say, Mr. E, because I don't want you to forget your train of thought.
They want to know their guts.
You know what? I don't think there's a specific just standard, because some women actually prefer an intimate setting. Like when I was dating, I had a rule, and my rule was most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, I would want to go to Starbucks on my first date. And if she had an issue with that, then we wouldn't do it.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and the reason
especially if they drink coffee. I love coffee.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's a sort of it's
conversation.
A sort of intimate, it's a sort of intimate setting. It's not real loud, and you can focus on that person without a person saying, "Can you take back my steak? It's medium rare." You know what I'm saying? And it's like you can concentrate on who she is, and she can concentrate on who you are, and it's just a cool little setting. They don't all the time work.
How about y'all pick up and walk and talk with the coffee somewhere? Now you got the coffee, and let's go walk down the street.
It depends on the way it goes. I'm game for all of it.
I'm just saying you got to start thinking.
There's some females that don't like that. They say, no, let's go do something exciting.
I mean, if you got swollen
ankles,
you want you to
spend some money. So
they want you to do.
But I think a cup of coffee, and Mouthpiece Drew said shit. Long walks are cheap.
They are.
And you know, it's a good chance.
Grab some ice cream on the way, even
because
cheaper.
If I was a man and I'm dating, I'm not just gonna spend my hard-earned money for every chick because I'm just, she got a cute face and a pretty waist or whatever they say and a big old butt. I'm not just gonna go spend $100 or $200 on you on one date. And there's no guarantee we're going to have no chemistry. So I think a good cup of coffee and maybe a walk kind of gives
determines if you worth the next date, or maybe
y'all even got chemistry. If it's worth my money.
And
because I'm gonna tell you this, I'm the type of person like at the second or third date, if we hitting it off good, let's go do something great.
Yeah.
Let me save my coins. Let's save my coins. Let's do something great. Because
and then
at this point, we get to experience. Now we can have an experience. We know each other
together.
And now,
you kind of know what she likes.
Yeah. So I don't have a problem with spending money. It's not even about the money, but it's the principle of let's put ourselves in a position and get to know each other first.
Because that's what Jason, my friend on the train, was just saying. He was like, man, I was so disappointed. I met this girl in the club. She kind of looked like Aaliyah. She had the long hair, and the complexion and everything going, but she had the glasses on. It was mysterious. But come to find out, I got all these plans. And she got the lazy eye, and then we get there. There's no attraction.
Hey, I got a lazy eye that come out sometime every once in a while.
Hers was noticeable.
He better get in front of my family.
She was walking around. He said her shit was loose.
Oh,
you know, and them loose eyes, just where you at?
Hey, you know, they need love too.
But hold on, they do need love. But he said, I went ahead and went with the date, and further on in the date, I realized there was no attraction, and then she was rude to the waitress. She was demanding and all that stuff. But then this was another thing they said, y'all. Don't assume that somebody's gonna pick up the bill. As a woman, this is what this article said. It says, be cheap when it comes to paying the bill. Research shows that most men and women still expect a man to pick up the bill on the first date. If you're choosing the date venue, suggest a location where you're happy to pay for both people. So he picked a place where he wasn't happy to have to pay for her meal after he said she was ordering everything and just being like,
I mean, that's just reckless.
You know,
that's rude to actually. That's rude right there. That's a day.
So she came out to be rude.
Out to dinner with somebody and order a bunch of stuff on the menu.
And you rude.
Get your ass a salad and an entree and a drink and call it a night.
You disrespectful
to
the wait staff. You show who you really are. And it says, if you're lucky enough to have someone pay for your dinner or drinks, always offer to pay. So women, always even just offer it, because he said that was the biggest turn off.
Hell no.
He said it
depends on who offered to take your ass out.
Even if someone intends to pay the full bill, it says it comes across badly if you don't at least offer to chip in. Y'all don't
mind tipping and stuff. I don't mind tipping for
But he said she didn't offer nothing. She ordered all this food and just assumed he was just gonna pay the whole bill.
But see, she ain't been out on that sounds like a hood rat that ain't been out on a date in a minute. And she was looking to take some shit to go home to her family and her kids and everything. And that's what that shit said.
But the girl on the train said, Did you ask her out? He said yes. She said, well, then if you asked her out,
you gotta pay.
You gotta pay. I think it is common courtesy, and she could show a quality in her by saying, you know what? I ordered a lot. Can I at least
pay half of this
something,
or put
pay
something
the tip
on
or
it?
something?
You damn right. Especially if you order shit for 4 or 5 people and you ain't
right.
But one
I had a chick, a guy tell me this too. What she said, would you pay for my can I order something to go for my son?
Oh no.
They on the first date, and she says, you know, I'm going home to my son. Is it all right if I order something for my son? And he said no. And that was,
you know what? And I had a gentleman order me stuff for lunch the next day.
What happened?
I had a gentleman after dinner and said, since you like those wings or those fajitas, whatever it was, here, I'm going to order some, get some of those to go so you can have it for lunch tomorrow.
That was nice.
That was a nice gesture.
Was nice.
I'm telling you, these grown men be trying to court you. They be trying to earn you.
What the people saying?
What they saying. Let's go up. Easy B214 said, man, say I'm a freak, and if I ain't hit it in a month, I'm doing something wrong. You got to be doing something wrong. Take that booty conversation into some, at least you got to make us feel like you want something more than ass. I think that's where y'all fail the most, is y'all turn us off instant because we know where y'all heading or where your mind. The conversation go too quick to the draws and send me a pic and can I come over versus, you know, what's your favorite color? I hate can I come over and send me a picture.
I think I seen one guy ever at this house in 2 years.
You ain't never seen nobody at this house. Nobody coming over here for shit. Ain't nobody. You know what I told you about to come over?
She hate that.
Johnson Calvin said, Ebony, your eye ain't lazy. It's just stubborn. Since she ordered all that food, her ass should have paid for ordering all that food. And you damn right.
So, all right, Mr. E, go ahead, weigh in.
Hey, listen. I know this is unorthodox, but before I forget, I want to do my people want to know.
Oh, my goodness.
It's 43
and I forgot all about sex tips. I wasn't ready. Okay.
Well, let me, well, I'm going to do my people want to know, and this is for Ebony. This is for both of y'all, Ebony and D Light, okay? People want to know, especially Mr. E. Diddy want to know, okay? Mm-hmm. I want to know if you go out with a man for a month and he doesn't bring up sex, will you? And if you say yes, then I want to know how you will bring up sex. Now, mind you, this is what I heard. I heard you say that you don't like a man to rush into it. And it's funny you said that because I'm the type of man, I won't bring it up at all.
Perfect.
So I want to know if you will bring it up at some point. And if you do bring it up at some point, how would your approach be?
I think mine would be I would ask you what turns you on sexually. So I would start with a conversation.
That's nasty.
I would just say what turns you on.
Okay.
What turns you on? What kind of things turn you on
That's a double
sexually?
standard.
We're not gonna talk about it.
I
If a
mean,
man do that,
if we dating,
come on now. If
I'm
a
gonna let
man
her
do that,
finish.
Mr. E.
Come on, it's cool though.
If we dating, we done went out on all these dates in several months. We done had, in 1 month, we done had all these conversations, I'm sure. I done came to your house and you done came to my house, I'm
Ain't
sure.
nothing to talk about. I'm just an action person. I'm not gonna talk about it. We just gonna start kissing and feeling on each other, and that's what's gonna
so you just gonna
do
it on him?
No, he gonna kiss and feel on me after he get these lips. So I'm just saying, you gotta initiate the shit. You know, ain't no talking. Sometimes you don't. I'm just saying you gotta go straight for it, but that's when you ready. That's when you ready, though. You know what I mean? And you can look.
You just gonna go straight.
No foreplay. No foreplay. No none of that.
Y'all don't realize all it takes is one move to go to the left or to the right, and y'all gonna be naked. And that's from rubbing each other's hands or rubbing each other's legs, and all of a sudden they're going one hand up a little higher. 5 minutes later, nigga, your pants off, your shirt, everything. So again, it can happen very easily. It don't have to be talked about or nothing, but just let that time happen when it happens. That's my thing. Let nature take its course. Let's not expedite the process and talk about how we're gonna do it and get ourselves all worked up with I don't even want to say dick pictures. I don't want to see a dick in the picture and all that stuff. Like, I'd rather watch us later doing something, but I don't want to see your walls and all that. It used to be fun.
That's why we
it used to be fun, though.
Because we think of things different. Like,
she ain't ready for that either.
It's sexy.
I will ask. Yeah, go ahead, Mr.
It's sexy to have the conversation and it just kind of tease ourselves.
It's a mental. My mother used to say it's mental.
I ain't got time for all that. Hell no, I don't even like text messaging, period. I don't want to text. It ain't even going straight to it. I'm just saying. I don't like the whole time, because again, you build expectations up sometimes in a text message and say you're not gonna give it up that night. Now y'all been talking about it all day, and now you're not ready to do it that night, and now he expecting it because y'all have talked about it all weekend long, or whatever the case might be.
Ebony, it's just like what you said.
Flirty.
It's something organic, okay? So if I'm talking to this woman and we're talking sexual, but it's very tasteful and it's very classy the way we do it, then we're not going to
be ironic.
It should be very tasteful, though. That's what I'm saying. Niggas ain't very tasteful. Send me a pic. That ain't very tasteful.
She can't stand. Can I come
That's
over?
not very tasteful.
But I'm not saying. I'm not talking about that.
How many kids you got?
I'm talking about a classy, sophisticated man. I'm talking about a man that he used to.
Hey, that's gonna jump the conversation off, and we gonna go in the right direction. After
I'm
I
already
ask you what turns
I'm
you
like,
on.
this is boring as fuck. I can't handle shit like that. That's a waste of my time. I got bigger fish to fry.
That's why your
talking
ass
about.
is tea.
Yeah, because folks,
you know what?
we thinking about real bills and situations. I ain't got time to be texting my booties and titties and shit in my phone.
We ain't talking about that.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about pictures. To me, okay. First of all, I have no interest. I have no interest in pictures until after we've had sex the first time. Anyway,
that's how it should be. Again, because that's what I don't like. Before that.
Yeah, I don't even date those type of women.
I don't want you seeing me.
Yeah, I would never date those type of women. So it's no use to me even talking about that. But I'm just saying, when you have a classy woman and you're a classy man, and sometimes the conversation doesn't even go right into sex. Sometimes it goes into, okay, well, when you're at home by yourself, what do you watch movies? Do you like to go to a Pilates class? Do you like to go to the sauna? And sometimes it's such a smooth conversation. It's such a smooth.
It's natural.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But the thing about it is, it's mental first. It's mental, and then like. Okay. Sometimes you can create an environment that's so heavy sexually and so heavy romantically and so sensual, and you never have to mention sex once. So, honestly. And that's when you got the right match, because y'all's vibes are going to fill one another out.
Amen. Amen, Mr. E. Amen.
I want to read this comment too, because it drives me nuts, but I don't know how y'all feel about it. But it said, what if a dude asks for a selfie to save for your contact? Like, I don't know why that annoys me and it's like instantly after you get their number or you guys exchange numbers, it's like, send me a picture so I can save it. I hate that shit. I don't know why they drive me nuts. Drive me nuts.
Now, what I will do.
It just happened recently.
Now, what I will do is, I will say, let's FaceTime. Can we set an appointment to FaceTime?
I do like FaceTiming.
But what it does is it lets them know that you want to see them.
Exactly. And I prefer that conversation. I don't like texting. I'm not a texter. I'm not that girl that's going to be on the phone all night, but I like to FaceTime and see your face. And that's what I was saying, too, personally meeting face-to-face. I don't like really talking on the phone and texting all day.
Okay. So we got 10 more minutes left to the show. Ebony don't have her sex tips.
So we can write it all out.
So we going to ride this out with a few more of these top 10 things to avoid on first dates. And shout out to everybody that's still hanging in there. Keep on hanging on. We only got 10 more minutes left.
Right.
All right. And then, put up on the screen. What are some of your things that you want people to avoid? Men and women, what do you think they should avoid on a first date? Or what have been some of your bad first date experiences or good first date experiences?
What can we do to not fail at dating, basically? Everybody.
Really. So it says, get too awkward or confrontational. So I think the same thing in the workplace. Try to stay away from politics and religion. Because if you're a Trump supporter and I'm not a Trump supporter, that could be a problem if we get to talking about politics.
That's going to turn me off.
That's going to turn me all the way off.
That's going to turn me off. We ain't got nothing else to talk about.
Leave your exes out of it.
Yeah. Okay. And somebody also on the screen who said that.
Only Joe. What does it say? Only one and only J Worm. He said, leave your exes.
It does say. It says use the word ex. Stay away from talking about your ex. It said dwelling in the past make it seem like you're not ready to date yet, and mentioning an ex will make your date feel like you're making a comparison. Some
people ask though, what was your last relationship?
I hate that shit. That will ask. I'll ask, but I'll ask in a way.
Well, what do you think is an appropriate answer then?
Yeah, well, no, I would say if we get too deep in the conversation, if we get real deep in the conversation, I will say, well, when was the last time you were in a relationship? And I understand that sometimes that can open something up, but I sort of feel my way through. I'll be like, okay, well, when was the last time you were in a relationship? And I've never got a bad response. It never went left for me.
We just need to answer the question. That's it. Answer the question. Let's not talk about the ex though. That's it.
We don't have to go. We don't have to go that far. They can say, if she'll say, well, it's been about
2 years or 6 months.
Yeah, and then we'll move on.
So don't go too far into your ex.
No, I wouldn't.
And then another one is don't get too drunk.
Oh Lord!
I was
definitely
don't
do that.
Wow!
Too intoxicated.
I was gonna say that. That's a good one.
You can fail at dating by getting a little too lit.
Because it really shows you. When you're drunk, it shows another side of you anyway. So.
It says alcohol loosens up your tongue.
Okay, you get to just saying everything, and you just might go home with that mother lover. So you got to be careful.
And it says it can lower your inhibition.
You don't want no more Hennessy.
You got to be careful.
It might lead to some things you weren't planning on doing. Okay.
Oh, for sure. Like cussing and falling and ending up in that bed. Okay, anyway.
So there's plenty of time to get to know someone a little bit better, but don't get too drunk on your first date. And then, some people, like my husband, he turned into Weekend at Bernie's. he out of there.
Hey, Shay's hanging down and everything, and you got to carry him out.
He's staggering, and so he's a 2-drink minimum.
Maximum.
2 drink.
Maximum. That's
2 drink maximum. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So it's a lot of times but he never exposed that. I didn't really learn that about him maybe until 2 years into the relationship. You feel me? So, and then I think we talked about it, not putting too much of your business out there. If you owe child support, if you owe the IRS.
You and your baby mama don't get along. Just say that for the second date or something. Let's see if you pass
just going down the line. I got convictions prior.
Sometimes we want to know that shit though. I need to know that. Don't waste my time.
Let me tell you something.
I need to know so he even worth it a second date or not. I wish y'all niggas
have you ever been arrested? Is that an appropriate question?
Yeah. I be doing background checks on these niggas nowadays, for sure.
Let me tell you this. My rule of thumb is to keep the first date positive. So keep it all the way positive.
Light, friendly, positive.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about felonies.
Yeah, like what pissed you off? Tell me what pisses you off, huh?
Right. Or if you're alcoholic.
Just stay positive, Cool Film said.
Because this one lady on the train, she talked about, you know what, my friend, she went out with a guy and he told her, I'm an alcoholic. I got running. DUIs. You got a younger daughter. I don't think that's a good look.
I'm running.
10 years later, okay, because the girl stayed with him after he told her who he really was. But everything he told her manifested. And in 10 years, she couldn't change him. She said, you know, she's my friend, but I think she thought she could change him. You cannot change people. When people show you, and I even learned this with even family members, child.
When
they show you who they are, you better believe them.
You better believe them. Yeah.
For sure.
All right. So those are just some words to the wise. Also, one thing was interesting, said don't comment on what the person is eating or isn't eating.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah.
I
what they're not eating,
or if they're not, you only got that, why are you only eating salad? And
I mean, if I'm talking about, if she uttered one word about my food, I'm turned out. It don't matter. It could be like it looks good. It could be like it looks bad. It could.
You don't even like. Oh, your food looks good.
No. I'm annoyed.
Oh man, you
annoyed by that.
Now you already know she don't want to share your plate later. You like, oh no.
No, it's not even that. I just don't want her to comment on my food. You know what I'm saying? I don't want her that's to me that's equivalent.
It says by all means check if they like the food, but don't go beyond that. So that it says check if you like
was your food okay? Ask them was your food okay?
No, that's different. That's
different
beyond because that. You're not making a comment.
What up, Lady C?
You checking on me. Hey, Lady C. Yeah. You not checking on my food. You checking on me. That's different. Yeah. So
right. You like your food, and then it says keep it moving. But if they eating a lot, don't be like, oh wow, you got an appetite. You're really hungry tonight.
That's real bullshit.
And then, you're only eating a salad. Oh, you know.
I did that to my boss today. I'm like, you scarfed that burger down quick. You was hungry. I should have said that.
That was your boss. You know what I mean? It's different.
That's different. But yeah.
That's so funny.
I don't want nobody coming on my food at all.
Man, where you going?
All right. So I think we covered a lot of these. It also says don't bring up marriage or kids.
Please don't do that.
So
especially
that's
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with
that?
Not
on the first date.
You want to talk about, you're going to talk about your daughter,
You date to get married.
That's true.
And naturally, I'm going to ask about kids and I'm going to ask about marriage because that's like the basic of who you dealing with. You know what I'm saying?
I'm running.
I can tell you.
I'm running.
That's why she want him to be Mr. She want him to be Mr. Perfect. She want him to be Prince Charming, no kids, sexy, fine.
Oh my goodness.
And all of that, and just perfect credit and stable.
That don't exist.
We're definitely gonna cover if you're married and got kids. There's no doubt.
I mean, if your previous marriage, your ex, and talking about your kids and all that.
Oh no, we don't have to go into detail. I don't want to know none of that. But I want to know if you're married, if you're legally married right now, and if you got kids.
Or if you divorced and all that kind of stuff.
All
right. All right, Mr. E. You know, time flies when you're having fun and when you know it is. Good people. I'm your girl, D-Light.
Hey, I'm Effie Mose.
And it's your big homie, Mr. E.
Hey, y'all got to make sure y'all check us out every Monday night now, a new time at 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Central, or actually Pacific Standard Time.
We can't ever get it right. And out there with Mr. E, the time you up there, you got to be listening and watching is 10 p.m.
Exactly, y'all.
And if you're on the East Coast, 11 p.m. every Monday night again. Monday night, we're doing it live. That's right. Love and War Talk, Love and War Podcast, Love and War Radio.
We love y'all for listening.